Is it okay to start freelancing while you're working full-time job for somebody else? Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, what's up and welcome to another segment of Business Time. And on the way to starting your freelance business, you might be transitioning from working at a full-time job. And so I got this email a couple of weeks ago from somebody who's working at a full-time job and really looking into making the transition to freelancing. So he wants to start freelancing while working at his full-time job, but he's really concerned about what his boss might say if they, figure out that he's freelancing. They might not like it. They might fire him. So he's really concerned about how to handle this. So I want to share my perspective around this because I did freelance while I was working full-time job. I freelanced nights and weekends for a long duration. And I also think this is a great way to build your both freelance muscle, also your network and your portfolio while you have the security of a full-time job. So I think this is the right thing to do. And I do encourage people to transition slowly into freelancing rather than just jumping straight into it. So I do think this is a good idea because it reduces a lot of the risk. But you have to think about how to do this properly, because I do know, and from my own experience, that some bosses might not look at this, positively. They might be afraid of the time that you are going to lose. They might be afraid that because you're spending a lot of time working on freelance project, maybe during nighttime, you're not going to be able to perform well during your own work. So you do have to think, and I think a lot of times when you negotiate, you have to take for a second the perspective of the person that you're negotiating with. So in this specific place, you're going to be negotiating with your boss or the HR person in your company who might have some, concerns about you working outside of work. So by trying to think about what they might be concerned of, you might be able to come up with, ways to explain to them why it's okay and why it's actually a good thing. So the first thing I want to mention is I do think that you should be open and transparent about this. I don't think that you should try to hide it from your own boss, because just lying, and this puts you in a position where you're not, if it ever finds out, and think about this long term, don't think about if they find out now that I'm working on it, right? They might find out about this after you left 2 years from now, but that's your reputation. And if your reputation is of somebody that, is lying and is doing things behind the back, that's not a good reputation for you. And don't forget that having the people that you previously worked with as a freelancer is a huge way to get clients. So you want to keep on good terms with these people that you're working with. So I wouldn't do things behind their back and try to hide it from them. I would be open about this and try to negotiate or explain to them the benefits about this. And I would say probably something like this. So first of all, as long as I'm doing this in my own free time, which might be weekends and time after work, it should not be their concern, because it doesn't matter if I go to the beach, if I read a book, if I paint, or if I do other design work for somebody else and getting paid for it. So as long as I promise them that my performance at work is not going to be compromised because I'm not going to, do all-nighters and not going to sleep, and then I'm going to be crushed at work. As long as I can promise that and actually stand by it and not let my day job be compromised, I don't think that they should, it's not any of their business, or at least it's not going to affect my performance. On top of that, I can tell them, which is true, that a lot of times at work, we are kind of getting bored of the project that we're working on, and allowing yourself to explore other industries and other kinds maybe of design or project that you're doing from your full-time job will allow you to be more fulfilled and perhaps even work with them on a longer term. So instead of just being frustrated, I'm so bored with the project, let me just leave this job and find another job, I can stay at that job for longer because I find fulfillment with other projects besides what I do at my day job. So that explaining to them that no, it doesn't mean that you're going to perform less good at your work, and it actually means that you'll be more satisfied as an employee by taking your passions and exploring them outside of work. on the expense of somebody else, by the way. Somebody else is paying for your experiments, your learning, and all that type of stuff. And they might be benefiting, right? You might be building up a new skill right now, like development or exploring a new type of design that you're going to bring in to your work, and your employer might be actually benefiting from it, and somebody else paid for that. So that's another thing that you might talk to them about. So bottom line here, I think you should be open about this. You should try to convince them. You're both adult people, and you both have working together is kind of a win-win situation. So you need to find the place where both of you are benefiting from you working outside of work. And I do think this is a great way to build your freelance muscle and network. So I think you should be exploring that and trying to do this. Hope this was helpful. For more videos about design, business of design, and freelancing, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'll see you on the next video.